Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good day, good afternoon. How are you? Hope you're doing fine out there. Making another video. Um, I saw something. I want the discussion today. I want to talk about is the Kanye recent incident with the remark he made about Hitler. And there's certain things I don't think this man understands what the Nazis did. I don't think he really thoroughly understood that and what the Nazis stood for. He just rambling on about things. He pretty much wrecked his business relationship. I mean, it's gone. I mean, no one don't want to touch him in the business world. This thing it's going international, and I don't know. It's one thing is to have a freedom of speech, but it's the one thing that there's a time you should kind of close your mouth. When you already did shot, you pretty much shot yourself in the foot. Even though you feel a certain way about a certain segment of people who are of the descents of the people that have to be who have to be Jewish, and there are some people in power that are. But even if but when it's like any group of people in a religion, race, somebody gonna take offense to it, and I don't blame people. I don't blame them for being offensive. And it is pretty bad as far as here you built up a whole empire, musically, fat in your fashion, and it's just sad that you're going out and just wrecking business relationships with people. And it could have been handled a lot bit different. He could have handled the thing with Nike. He could have just said we just had the creative differences. We didn't see eye to eye on certain things. But to come out and just start saying some outlandish, crazy things. I mean, there's certain things people get it as attention, and I'm all about freedom of speech. But come on, man, that's not cool. You one way, you go on Alex Jones. Alex Jones spread some misinformation. Kind of say that the children didn't die in the shootout. That really hurt the family. It was evidence that, and pretty much slander some of the people up there. You got another person that is a known what they classify as a white supremacist, and you speak in their talking points, and it's like you all over the place. And it's just that there's some things I understand some people do for publicity, and there's some things that if you want to tell the truth, it's good to tell the truth, because in some way the media and the social media giants are trying to silence that. But there is certain things that it is way overboard, and Kanye is way overboard with this one. How you gonna sit up there and praise a mass murder of a group of different groups of people that literally try to wipe off the planet? And Kanye didn't even think about Margaret Sanger was influenced. Hitler, I believe, was influenced by Margaret Sanger, and they did the test experiments on those people in the concentration camps. That's what, and it was people that were mostly poor Europeans, who had Jewish descent, and they came from different places, but they did experiments on these people. And for Kanye to sit around and praise Hitler and the Nazis for that, it's pretty despicable. I agree with that. That part, that's despicable. How you gonna praise a murderer? That's like praising a mass murderer from like, no matter if it's a Jeffrey Dahmer or a Ted Bundy or someone that you putting them in the same category as that. But even though Hitler did much worse things, because he was a head over it. This man trying to destroy people off the planet. That's playing God. You try to take out a group of people regardless of their race, their religion, and the ethnic background. You're trying to play God. And this is what's going on. But the same people he's praising is the same people that did that. He don't have no clue that they're innocent people who were attacked by Nazis. That this mainstream media don't tell you about. And in certain places in Europe and in America, that they go out and attack people for their sexual orientation, which beat them up, maim them, beat them up, and probably practically kill them. They beat them up for someone, not only Jewish people, black people, dark Latino people, Asian people, Middle Eastern people, anybody that look non-white. They believe in to attack them, and they feel like and no one attacks them. Nobody attacks no skinheads and Nazis. No one even think about them, but they go out and do initiating and attacking different groups of people, and it's been recorded, and I pointed on my channel that this is what that even over in Ukraine, there were Nazis. There were Nazis in the military. I point this out. And before all this thing kicked off with Russia, could you imagine what it was like being a Jewish person over there? Or any other person, maybe gay? Just imagine that. Nazis. And that they believe in no interracial marriages, no sexual orientation. They believe in their pure, and they would do anything by extreme measures to prove their point. So you're going to praise Kanye, some people, for doing that, and your children is a part of an interracial relationship with Kim Kardashian. So you're going to praise Nazis. Kanye, really? You're going to go on a white supremacist platform, and even though how they came to fame, I understand that, but that's part you heard in part. That's their mother, and I don't know how the Armenian community feel about that, because they have Armenian blood, but you choose, but the whites, but what but they have their own, stay among their own and be with their own. And being with the black guy, Nazis don't like that. Ask any. There have been interracial couples in Europe that have been attacked by Nazis. Kanye, you need to really think about what you talk about. They blessed people. Hitler didn't want white people mixed in with other races. He was trying to make a pure race. See, some people, they just say stuff and they're so ignorant, and they don't do research. They don't do research, and they say ignorant things. It was not just specific people. His plan was to knock out the races, and do test experiment on how to maim and torment, put in pain other groups of people till they torture them to death. That's that's what the premise of it was, so they can purify in anything that, and if they felt that a white person, it was some kind of genetic this problem, they had some kind of, think they were cursed or something like that. He don't even, because you blended with this a certain part. But you're gonna say that not. Some people need to know truly what a Nazi is. You need to do you need to do the research, and why would you even bring that even up? And now, and it's true, and I can see what they talk about. That could push them into violence, because that activates, and then they use someone like you as a black person, say we ain't got nothing against black people. See, black people agree with us when that's a freaking lie. Black people ain't for about any other group of people being wiped off the planet, but they're using your stupid ass. Now, there's one thing is, it's one thing is, and there's some people who are Jewish that are empowered, so be it. But it's other people in power too. It's not just them. But even, and we know that there's a segment of people that among, like any group of people, are some bad people. They're doing some way high demonic stuff. But you're attacking, and I can understand why if somebody was Jewish, that is like you're attacking. You're praising somebody whose grandparents, whose aunts, uncles died, and tell them a story, and then they had to see it on TV on how the way they was described, being in an internment camp, being put into an oven, and imagine in tears, because no human being can picture someone being that evil, and they made them out of soap. But you saying that, you saying that, and knowing that there are some people in the particular Jewish community had to hear something like that was wrong. That's wrong in so many ways. And then you go on a show like Alice Jones speaking this rhetoric. In the same ones you speaking for, saying that they're using you. They don't even like to see your relationship with your kids. They think that's something wrong with you from laying down with Kim Kardashian and making kids with her. Some people don't understand this. When us Nazis, when they say they're pure white, they pure white. WASP, the term WASP. Everything got to look like them. Blonde, blue eyes, brown hair, and pale skin. They come from a mythical religion that some god made them the super race over other races. This is what, as the Kanye need to know what true Nazis is. And Hitler took that slogan and tried to put it all over the doggone world. He didn't like blacks. He didn't like Jews. He didn't like Arabs. He didn't like nobody that was non-white. But they'll use, but they want to get resources to make them feel like they're power. So some people will use, the most evil, wicked people would use some power just to gain, and they don't have to like you, but to get something to get from you, they'll befriend you. And I don't, just because they don't care how much money you got, and it's crazy. Some people, just because they think that they get to a certain level, you see a different level of racism. And even I just heard recently that even the people that family over in England have Nazi bloodline. There's research out there that they have a bloodline, and that Germanic bloodline that don't want to mix in with other nothing else. They want it pure white wasp, pure white, which means they don't want no other race of people in their trying. And this is at the high level. This is what their principle is about. And I know there's some people is they're gonna be shocked when they hear it, but it's the truth. There are white people like them that believe this is what it is, Kanye. That's what they believe. They'll hear anything. Sit down. Why they call them white nationalists and white separatists? That's what they believe. That's what they believe. And you gonna agree with something like that? It's crazy. It's just simply crazy. And I don't blame them for that. Because I don't blame them for them punishing you the way they did, because you gone off the hook, man. It's like, man, you off the hook. You way out of the hook. And some people don't understand what racism really is. They don't understand eugenics, what really is. And the Nazis were about eugenics and racism, tied in together, until we rule and make a white planet. That's what it is. That's what they're trying to do. Ain't about we all together as black, white, brown, tan. No, Nazis don't think like that. Nazis want to have the power. Nazis want to do things and to keep among themselves. Don't want no another race of people or whatever. But some of them have acted out on other groups of people, because when it came to jobs and they feel their way of living, they start attacking. And this happened over in Europe. It happened here in America as well as Europe. They attack different groups of people based on their sexual orientation, based on their skin color and their ethnic background. And you just sit up there and say something that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm all about free speech. You know, certain things I understand, but that is inciting violence, to be honest with you, because that does stir something up in some people. Because like, wow, okay, and some nut job, that's what's doing all these shootings. Somebody watch some propaganda. It don't necessarily have to be on the social media. It's got to be on a certain website, and they get puffed up in their head. They get encouraged and do shootings like they did like out in Colorado, or they did in Pittsburgh. And you got some person with the ideology, or what the nut job did up there in Buffalo, Kanye. He was moved by Nazi propaganda. He was moved and attacked the blacks. Black people had nothing to do, and he lived in a part in New York. Ain't no black people in Compton, New York. Kanye. This dude was moved by Nazis, a Nazi ideology that put there, and because he felt something told him to go shoot black people, to weed out. The synagogue was by Nazis. The Charleston incident was by Nazis. We would not, when they say we would not be removed, chanting that in front of a synagogue of people that had nothing to do with that. It's sad. And it's disgusting. I understand why. And you just wreck your brand. And it's one thing, you wreck your brand. When you first came out, you embarrassed yourself with that young lady, Taylor. It's one thing. It's for publicity. It's like, wow, what the heck was that? It's one thing, you mentioned one thing about George Bush, which is true, but it's one thing to speak, but it's like you in a position, but man, And some people even overlook and come that. But now you've gone way overboard with this. You left, you're right, you're up and down, and I think you need to chill out. Seriously. I mean, you destroyed and you make it bad on your children's future. You make it bad on your business relationship. Yeah, because it's going to affect your children in the future. Making statements like that. Because what if your child get attacked by a Nazi? Because they part black and they part what their mom looked like. That's not really. I said that was a dumb thing, and I agree. It was the dumbest thing. And like I said, we would, some people agree with you on some talking points about, the way there's a segment of people who own, who run this evil out there. There's no doubt about it. But sometimes it comes to a point you need to really be quiet. And you just totally pissed off business related. Nobody want to deal with your brand. You try to get your business off the ground. You could have said, hey, me and Nike D's didn't say. If I had a chance to talk to him, I would say this to him. Hey, we didn't have an agreement, so we decided to be our separate ways. Whether you agree with the heads of Nike, Adidas, but there was a certain way you could have handled that. And still nobody wouldn't have to really know. But when you going out there and blast, everybody, now it's on all major networks, not just the ABC and Fox. There's other ones, even on business channels. So you hurt your brand. Getting on getting on somebody who spread false narratives about Columbine. I mean, not Columbine, but the shooting up there in Connecticut. And I'm all about free speech, but yes, when you spread that there are things that could be proven, that there was some kind of conspiracy, that these children, it was a kind of a show, and that's what Alex did. That's why he got hit with that fine. But you're going to join up with that. That's wrong, man. That's wrong. And like I said, if you didn't have an agreement with these companies or studio heads, there's a way of handling things. You said we had our creative differences and move on. And you could still been able to do business with other businesses. Because sometimes that's what competition is all about. And you could have still been even have a fan following and able to use the media, the social media. In the beige business world, it's secular, is the social media for business. But attacking people based on their is wrong. And then I'm saying, then you went to a church which is Messianic Jews, which was a good thing, but turn back around and get on a platform and say Nazis were good people. Hitler was a good Hitler, who everybody knows was a tyrant during his time. He was a tyrant that cost a lot of people lives. And if he'd have kept on going, he'd have kept. They'd have moved in other places, start taking out other people. If they didn't take him out, he was trying to dominance over the world with this Nazi propaganda. And so they try to and so when you go into these other countries, in your them neighboring countries, with these separatists and hate group, that's what they're trying to do again. That's what they tried. There's separatists over in Russia. There's separate Nazis, probably Nazis are separatists over in Ukraine and other places. It's out there online. It's clearly saying. That's why different shows like Vice TV and different individuals go over there, and they tell you. So you go well. They don't believe in race mixing. That's what Nazi Kanye. They don't believe in race mixing. When you lay down, this is the truth, and it came out of their own mouth. They have said that for over since beginning. What like the Ku Klux Klan? They don't believe in race mixing. They believe in all, and it's the truth. It come out their own mouth. Why would you get on the platform and, with someone praising Nazis that took innocent lives of people because their religion, they practice their religion, and they because in their race, then they attack people. They attack brown people, gay people, and other people, black people. And they just beat them up. They like they do it like a sport, just to get initiation. And that's part of the initiation, Kanye. They do it over in Europe, just to name it and cripple somebody, stab them with a knife, switchblade them. Some of the immigrants be Africans, some of them can be East Indians, and other people. This is the truth. This is. There are stories in the past, and you go over there and go on a show and praise Nazis. This is what they do. They attack. Nobody don't attack no Nazis, but Nazis attack people when they feel threatened, and they feel get drunk enough and get full of fire and alcohol, and go and get in the car or go see a group of individuals, start some mess with them, and start picking at them and beat them up and sucker punch a person or knock down a woman or a man and just keep on going. This is what Nazis do. But they're good people, right? And they do this to this day. They've been doing. They have a history to do that. They don't just. It's not like a separatist group that just maintain. No, these are what they call the foot soldiers. So if something don't go their way, they go out there. And no one don't be bothered with it. No one don't have no problem. But when you have a group of people that go out there and attack people and start some stuff, knowing that it's going to be a fight with people from all walks of life, that's you irking something. And he doesn't even think about this stuff. And that's why he was kicked off of social media, because all social media platforms know that stuff do some influence around the world. And I had to show a reflection on my channel just to show that it's in Ukraine, and I bet you there were Jewish people being attacked by these soldiers that were part of it. What's that? Whatever that yellow badge with this Nazi symbol on the inside of them. They probably don't tell you about that part, because they look to Hitler as a leader. This is facts. This is fact that they look to Hitler as a leader. In the United States, some of the people in the Ukrainian army have Nazis in them. Have Nazis. That's what this is about, and I showed it. And sadly, this mistaken, America is kind of giving billions of dollars to a leader that is a Jewish descent, that have in his military have Nazis. Go figure that out. You can look back on my page, you'll see. Zelensky is Jewish. And then when you go over to the Ukraine, they have a section over there where their graves of Jewish people. You know, I gotta admit, Kanye's an idiot. Yeah, he's an idiot. I mean, he's an idiot. And sometimes, and people mistake things too. Just because someone's saying something is a truth, sometimes the devil can make it seem like it's a truth, but this is his truth. Until God show you his truth. He can paint the picture, and he's like, yeah, it gets you all emotional, but he can show you a truth. Sometimes but God Almighty through his son Jesus can show you his truth. And it be actual truth of the one who have God Almighty through Jesus. But the devil got his truth. And it seemed like the way Kanye's acting, he's acting like the devil, doing what the devil doing. Trying to play God, trying to play both sides. Playing both sides. And I agree with them. I understand why they can't put him back on the platform, or any platform. You know, that's just crazy, man. And knowing that these people, they get motivated. They do have their own website, and they go out and try to get a following, but they'll kind of worded it and probably come to a major website like Twitter, Google, or trying to use cold words to get them over to their website. Just keep continuing that propaganda. They're probably doing that, but this stuff is real. And for when he did that, it just made him look like a fool. Like I said again, I'm all about free speech. It's not, and I'm all about real truth. Is there some type of truth? Is there? It's true. But everything ain't always true. And there's some things, some people need to zip your lip. On that, you need to zip his lip. I mean, you already just destroyed what you gained. And then on top of that, the IRS is coming after you. $50 million. Now, I'm not going to spread no conspiracy theory about that, but bad things do happen. But it's really messed up. You know, and he's clearly wrong on this, and I agree with anybody. He's wrong, and I understand the Jewish community in that sense being upset. I totally understand that one. But how you gonna sit there and get on a platform and say something like that? And some of these people, regardless what position they are in life, but that's someone's relative that passed away in the Holocaust. That's someone's relative. That hit home. This to some people, and I understand that, man. It's like what happened to black people on the slave ships, and someone say some crazy remark about that. And you see the movies and who did all and what or not, and then see that, and for someone to say something like that, that's wrong. And I would say, but I had to say you're wrong on this one. You're so wrong. And I think you're ignorant because you don't know what Nazis really mean. what their purpose of, again, it's about the white race. They telling you this, and only the right. They don't want nothing to do. It's us and only us, in our insecurity. And that's how they. And so they should get insecure to attack other people, thinking that they to put fear in other people for them not to progress. That's what Nazis. That's what their white nationalists and Nazi stuff is about. Intimidate other people, go back, intimidate, kill, maim, and destroy other people. Befriend them, but at the same time, destroy them, intimidate them, and that's what they've done to different groups of people. You know, and that, like I said, it's pretty sick. It's a sick thing, and again, they don't like interracial relationships. They tell you that. They think laying down with a non-white person is something you're laying down with an animal, basically, in a nutshell. That's how they view it. And even though this is kind of ignorant and direct, but that's what Nazis believe in. And that's what they tell them, whether it's in English or you over in Ukraine and they talking to a black guy or any other guy or race or color, whatever, and they see the woman, that's what, Asian guy, whatever. They see the woman, that's what they do. Flat out, that's what it is. So if they over in them countries, people, they know who they are. You gotta be careful where you go in certain countries, and they have that mindset. But some people, man, but I understand why. I really do, and like I said, I totally don't agree with that. It's like, man, there's something wrong with this guy, man. To say something like that is just way out of line. And because I watched the whole thing, and saying why would these guys hate so much? What is it about white nationalists or white supremacists or whatever we label, whatever, and part of it is fear, but fear the next thing moved to violence. So they feel like they got to act out violently to subjugate other people under the condition. That's what they do. Then they go out and attack different groups of people. Because if it's all about being white and being about your own, there's other people about their own people. Every ethnic group about their own. And they believe that they should stick to their own. Every group of people, there's some group of people, whatever nationality they are, believe in sticking to their own. Majority of them go stick to their own. But they're not out there trying to attack other groups of people. They just keep it among themselves. Nazis don't think like that. Nazis start stuff. And that's a fact. Every group of people believe in their own. No matter what race of people, there's a segment of people, no matter what religion or race, they stay to their own. They don't have to go out and attack people. They don't have to go down and put down other people, bully people around, insult other people's religion or sexual orientation. They just keep to themselves. I mean, no matter they're Christian, Muslim, Buddha, whatever, they keep to themselves. And even among that whatever the religions is, you know, it could come down specifically down to the skin tone. In some cases, because in some religion it is still, well, you could be brothers, but there's a classification of skin tone. But even among that, they don't do that. They don't go out and attack other people. And but yeah, I definitely agree. That was so wrong. That was so wrong. And I just want to make this video I'm not gonna be that long on it, but I just want to say he's clearly he's wrong, clearly wrong, and how wrong he is going on that show with a person that a nationalist. And I said that's what's crazy. And I mean it's kind of oxymoron. Why would here you a black guy who have children of a woman of a different race on a show who promote their Nazis and white nationalists, it's white separatists is about them, and they own only to them. They're not about to make allies with nobody. That's like you trying to ally with the devil. It don't make no sense. But in the end, it's a devil. And as long as you ride against the Most High, yeah, he'll ride. Yeah, he'll give you anything that you want, but and give and let the hand of God go to go with the devil. Yeah, he'll ride with you. He'll promise you the whole moon and stars. And I'm using this as an example. But at the end of the day, when you're so required, and you go to hell, the devil, hey, I thought we were buddies up on earth. We renounced God. No. And then he said, did you read your book? I'm the devil. And that's the truth. That's what we're going to tell billions of people. Thank you for renouncing God, renouncing Jesus. And that's the same way when it comes to people who do evil. Who's about that is only about them and their own self-centeredness. It is what it is. But yeah, I totally and then agree. There's one thing, you have free speech and you believe what you want to believe. You don't believe people, you look out for your own race or whatever. That's one thing. But you worry about your white race or black race or whatever, skin tone, that's one thing. Everybody probably worry about, to a certain degree, someone subconsciously think of, some people think about this. From every race think about this. But here's the thing about it is, you don't act out by attacking the group of people, whether they come from another country, whether it's sexual orientation, whether you feel like they're part of this religion, that have to be, their family is part of this religion, that have extreme wealth. It's wrong in any sense whatsoever. And this is what Nazis teach. And maybe somebody, they'll get upset, but they know it's the truth. They're about their own. And that's foolish for someone to sit there and do that. And that was really foolish. But this is my opinion on it. Some people might not agree with my opinion. But if you sit down and do the research, you can't help but argue that it's true. Yeah. So that's just a dumb way to lose businesses, lose your wealth, just because. And you're trying to do business, you're trying to pick up other people, and you're like the plague. Nobody want to do business with you. That's messed up. It's one thing you had to create differences, but when you do that on a national stage, on an international, nobody want to touch you. They treat you like they treat one of the world dictators over there that cut you off. And then you have to use wisdom. And Kanye do not have no wisdom. He don't even have a filter over his mouth. He's off like a filter. And his only God is protecting him, because it may be somebody that really want to do some harm to him. Or you know what I mean? That's just not wise. That's not wise. But anyway, I just didn't want to make this video long. But yeah, I, this thing with Kanye is crazy. He lost his mind. He lost his damn mind. We was saying, well, he ain't crazy. Well, it's something going on. There's some people that oh, and knowing that the media gonna run with it, they're gonna run with it and destroy you even worse. And I mean, people pick and choose who they're gonna associate with, but as far as a business aspect of it, that's messed up. You messed up the business, and the social media can be used as a bigger business aspect of it. I mean, you have some fans, but when they start cutting you off, that's it. Yep, you know, and they taking away your billions, especially when they get the IRS on you, and you didn't pay your taxes. They coming after. They want all that $50 million. So, I hope this you enjoyed this video. But yeah, that was my view about Kanye and his not very knowledgeable about what Nazis is. He don't know what a Nazi is. That's what they do, and they believe it keep their bloodline clean. Purity, wasp, white Aryan race. They tell you that. We don't mix in, we don't blend in with anybody. They tell you that they sell. By any means, but your blood is mixed in with somebody. I mean, I know as a human race, we all are God's people, but they don't see life like that. They think they should be at the top of the chain ladder. They don't see all God's people. To people say, "They know, man, well, we all God's people." I understand. Nazis don't see it that way. That's why they did what they did to the people going way back 80 years ago, even before that. That's what they think. That's what they believe. It is what it is. Truth is truth. And that's the truth about them. And that's what anybody's religion, they think is something. They've been trained to think that they're inferior to them. That they're cursed. This is how they think. So you got to do something about these people. So that's why they start attacking and maiming and murdering and killing people. And beating up people for a sport. That's pretty sick, ain't it? Yep. But that's their belief. And a lot of some of these shootings that were motivated by that. You guess, like I said, probably the one like Dylan Rue and the one for Buffalo and the one that shot down that synagogue down in Pittsburgh, they were motivated by that. And probably the one that did that out in Colorado shooting, motivated by that. And it's a sick mental illness. It's sick. That's what it's a sickness. And it's coming out. And they believe in it because they believe in people playing videos, and it's probably in the video games and everything too. I would doubt they create their own video games. Getting how to shoot people and different groups of people, and they got, yeah, it's deep. But I didn't want to stay too long on this topic. But yeah, Kanye, you need to chill out. Stop while you're ahead, because it's not gonna look for you. It's not gonna look good for your family. I'm just saying. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a good day, and keep your head up, and hopefully y'all be blessed out there, and one day we'll be out of this foolishness. And just don't let it get to you. And for people who are Jewish descent who watch this video, don't take it per descent. We have sense enough to know that's not every Jewish person. It's not extremely wealthy or trying to do some act of conspiracy or any other group of people. It's just that it's just something. It's selected individuals. It's not the whole. It's selected, and I hope no one don't act out violently on anybody. I hope it don't be no more shootings. Somebody motivated to shoot somebody based on some stupidity. I hope it don't. So no harm on anybody. But what he doing, yeah, I can see how that can motivate somebody. It's one thing you have freedom of speech, but when you take it to the point that that some nut job is going and we got a lot of nut jobs out there that online. Just saying. So you guys be easy. Take care.